Part 14 of Alex Rider Archangel. Oh, where we last left off was you got involved on purpose, Casper said. No, Alex denied it, but his mouth was dry. So let's continue and then read the next 5 pages. You switched room numbers. You answered to the name of Paul Devon. You crippled one of my men and injured the others. Alex said nothing, waiting for the final axe to fall. I don't understand why you chose to become involved. After went on, I don't know who you are. But you've made your decision. You've chose to become an enemy of force. So you must say I didn't choose anything. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm fighting in a war, and in a war there are casualties, innocent victims who just had to get in the way. If it makes any easier, think of yourself as one of them. Casper sighed, but that there was no sadness in the map of his face. Goodbye, Alex Rider. It was a pity. It was a pity that we had to meet. It cost me £1 million in ransom money. It'll cost you rather more. Before Alex could react, he grabbed him from behind and dragged his feet. He didn't speak because he was forced back out of the room and down the corridor. This time it was thrown into another room smaller than his previous cell. Alex had just time to make out a chair, a barred window, and 4 bare walls before he shoved hard in the back. He was spread sprawling to the floor. Combat jacket stood over him. I wish he'd let me have a little time with you, he rasped. If I had my way, then we'd do this differently. You move it, the voice came from outside. One of the other men with the combat jacket spat at Alex. Alex and walked out. The door closed, and almost at once Alex had heard the unshakable sound of hammering. He shook his head in disbelief. They weren't locking him in, they were nailing the door. They were nailing the door to the frame. Once again, he exclaimed his surroundings and wondered why they chose this particular room. The bars on the window made no real difference. Even the window had been wide open. With at least 7 stories up, he wouldn't have been able to climb out. What exactly were they proposing to do? They obviously weren't planning to get him. They were simply going to leave him that he had to starve to death. If the answer came about an hour later, the sun was beginning to set. The lights were coming on buildings all over East London. Alex was becoming increasingly anxious. He was on his own on a high desolate tower block. He had a feeling that Casper and the other had gone. He could hear nothing at all on the other side of the door. The silence was the silence was unweaving. He knew that MI6 would be doing everything they could, searching the safe phone. But what did they hope of finding me? He couldn't open the window. The room was empty. There was no way he could attract anyone's attention. He really did seem to be completely helpless. Then he smelled it sleeping through the floorboards coming from somewhere deep in the heart of the building, burning that set fire to the tower blocks. Alex knew it would, even before he saw the first grey wisps of smoke or smokes creeping under the door. They had doused the place with petrol, and the light left him nailed inside what would be the biggest funeral prayer. For a moment, he felt panic, black, unresistible. It engulfed him, more smoke curling under the door. Alex sprang his feet and backed over to the window, wondering if there was any way he could knock out the glass, but Alan helped him. He forced himself to slow down to think he wasn't going to let him. He wasn't going to let them kill him. Only 11 days ago, a pale assassin had fired a 22 caliber bullet, but he was alive. He wasn't easy to kill. There were just two ways out of the room: the door and the window, but both of those were obviously hopeless. What about the walls? They were made of hardboard and plaster, in a flat that he had been interrogated. They had been knocked through. Maybe he could do the same here. Experimentally, he ran his hands over him, pushing and probing, looking for any weak spots. His throat was sore. His eyes were beginning to water. More smoke was pouring in. He stood back and then lashed out in a karate kick. He was smashing through the center of the wall. Pain shot up his leg gone through his body. The wall didn't even crack. That left the ceiling. Alex remembered the corridor outside. It'd been missing some ceiling tiles, and he had seen a gap underneath pipes and wires that ran above in the ceiling. In this room was covered with the same tiles. They left him a chair. He dragged it over to the corner and then to the corner on the nearest door and stood on it. The floor almost disappeared beneath the swirling carpet of smoke. It seemed to be reaching up, even if he wanted to grab and hold it and devour him. Alex checked if it wanted to grab. It seemed to be reaching up as if it wanted to grab him and devour him. Alex checked his balance suit, then punched up with the heel of his hand. The tile was made out of some sort of fiberboard and broke easily. He punched again, then tore the edges off the hole he had made dirt and debris showered down, almost blinding him. But when he looked up and saw that there was space above him, he could reach and haul himself up over the door and jump down the other side. He ripped out some more tiles until the hole was wide enough to squeeze you through. He could hear something a few floors below him, a faint crackling. The sound made his skin crawl. It meant the fire was getting close. He forced himself to concentrate on what he was doing. The chair was wobbling beneath him. If he fell, on twist and angle, he was finished. At last, he was ready. He tensed himself and then dropped empty. He felt the chair topple and crash into the floor, but he had done it. His hands had been caught hold of an old wall pipe. Now he was dangling just below the ceiling. His arms were disappearing into the space above. Once again, once again, and he was also aware of the stitches in his chest and wondered briefly if it would hold. God, the psycho people had told him to him and he ought to keep his strengthening exercises. He doubted they'd had this in mind. And gritting his teeth, Alex summoned all the strength and pulled him up into the cavity. He passed through a cobweb and grimaced fine, and grimaced as the fine strands laced themselves over his nose and mouth. His stomach touched the edge of the hole. He was half in and half out during the crawl space in front of him, the wall with the door beneath him, dozens of wires and insulated pipes above his head stretching into the distance. Dust strung his eyes. Right now, Alex dragged himself along the pipe belonging, bringing his feet up into the ceiling grease as he kicked down with his heels. While ceiling tiles fell loose and he saw the corridor below. There was a drop about 4 meters. Awkwardly, he swung himself forwards, then his leg and torso hung. He'd finally let go and dropped down in a loud crouch. Landing in a crouch, he was in the corridor, the other side of the locked door. With a sigh of relief, he straightened up. He was out of the room, but he was at least some floors up. Okay, so that's the end of this video. See you in the next one.